Hello, welcome to the Business Renovator. Hey, the backdrop's changed a little bit. It's just got the title and my face. And I'm going to try that out for a little while and see how that works out. What I'd like to do, though, is jump into my buddy's book, the Customer Delight 365. Brian Monahan is the author and curator of this particular book. And the quote that I've taken out of his book today is, there's no such thing as an empty space or an empty time. There is always something to see, something to hear. In fact, try as we may to make a silence, we cannot. John Cage. Brian's take on that is there's no such thing, a meaningless transaction. Every moment is an opportunity to connect. Try as we may, we can't disconnect, but we can misconnect. Hint here is when a person's in front of you, remember, connect, which leads me into our guest today. I'm going to bring him up. Larry Schneider is a master networker. So I picked that quote because I felt it ties into what we're going to talk about today, and that's about networking, and you do a ton of that. That's how we met, was through a group of people we were informally networking with. So welcome, Larry. Welcome to the Business Renovator.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So I'm going to go to the formal written portion of today's session, and that is Larry is a master networker. I've already mentioned that, and a full-time entrepreneur. He is certified trainer with Energic. I think I pronounced that right. The Kangen water company, and also personality sales training with a system called Bank. He has a few hobbies, which include, and certainly are not limited to, scuba diving, golfing, skydiving, and racing sprint cars. Those are kind of cool. And his claim to fame is he's a member of the Babe Ruth Hall of Fame, achieving Pitcher of the Year for 2 years in a row in his high school days. That's pretty cool. I hardly ever played baseball, but that's because I'm in Canada. I played more hockey.
That was a long time ago, but it was good times.
Yeah. So I promised you I had a little bit of a surprise for you.
Cool.
I'm going to talk a little bit about it right now. You are in Kansas, in a town, a city that has a unusual name for me to see, because I've never seen it before I met you. And I got the pronunciation is Olathe. It's in Kansas. And it's a 5.5 hour flight from where I am in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 1,585 miles. And I was going to try and convert this to feet, but here we go. 1,030 feet or 316 meters for my Canadian friends above sea level. Just a bunch of trivial facts.
That's really cool. You know, you can land your airplane right there, just about 3 miles from me at the Johnson County Executive Airport. Or you can jump out of it and just skydive into me and land right in my front yard.
And you'll have the barbecue on, waiting?
You betcha. Doors open. Fire's lit. Let's go.
Exactly. So one of the things we talked about, or we promoted you as, is a master networker, because you are a master networker. And how do I know that? Watch this. That's just a few people that you know that have showed up somewhere in some kind of networking event. So not only do you do it in person when you can, but you're all over the place virtually. We were talking about that a little bit just before we came on the line, on air right now today. So this is the other surprise I told you about. I told you it wouldn't be anything devastating. I thought it was kind of interesting, though.
This is kind of the new way of doing business now. To me, you know, a lot of people complain about it, but you know, it's made it more productive for everybody, because now we don't have to jump in our cars to go to our chamber events or whatever. We can just jump on Zoom and jump. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, you can talk to a lot of people using virtual. I've been introduced to another platform. There's several out there, and I've looked at a few. But one of my new clients, they're a big fan of Teams, which is a competitive product to Zoom. And it's the same kind of sort of thing, whereas you get together virtually. They're spread out all over Canada. So it's a way for them to get together with their employees and team members, as well as their vendors and customers. And it's quite efficient in many ways.
Hmm. I had one of my networking gals do what you just did a little bit ago. She said, "Have you ever checked your mileage, what you do on a day?" And it was fun to do that because we average from 10,000 to 20,000 miles a day. 1 minute you could be in Florida, and the next minute you could be in Texas, and the next minute you could be in Hawaii. And that was a lot of fun because, if you had to get in your vehicle and drive, that's a lot of miles.
That's an interesting perspective, one I had not thought of.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was early last year, I ran into somebody at a networking event, much the same as the pictures that I'd shared earlier in review. And they started in Canada. They go through meetups and they run their networking groups that way. But it's reached out globally because the internet's leveled the playing field. And I met a PR writer from Brussels. And I was able to have an interview and a chat with her. And I never thought about how many miles away she is, but I know to get there by plane from where I am, it's 9 hours. So it's quite a distance. Yeah. I might start tracking that as a metric. That's pretty cool.
Just think you could be in 9 different networking groups by that time.
Yeah.
With lots and lots of people to connect with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could have new friends and business associates and partners globally, faster and easier and more cost-effective than previously.
Yeah. That's something that I love too, being an entrepreneur in a business. We are global to where I used to be I've always worked for myself, but when I was running my own companies, I was stuck in Johnson County and I couldn't go outside of Johnson County because I was dealing with locals. And now, it's unlimited to where we can go network too.
Yeah, I think the only limitation is our imagination.
Right. Yeah. Our only competition is the person you look at in the mirror too. So yeah, it's unlimited.
Or on the video, because we can see each other. We can see ourselves right now. So the mirror or on the video, either way, right? But that's true. It's really what we're thinking inside.
Yeah.
The imagination. I've asked numerous people on numerous occasions, what's the largest nation in the world? I think you'll get it right. First time.
Nation. You tell me. I don't want to be wrong.
It's not about. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you brought something up that I think would be valuable for anybody who's watching this now or on the replay, and that is when I've asked that question, people start thinking, well, Russia used to be, but it's not anymore because of, and then, well, the U.S. is pretty big, well, Canada's pretty big, and all of those are the wrong answers. It's the imagination. It's not population and it's not landmass. It's actually in our imagination. And I got that from Walt Disney. Mm-hmm. It's our imagination is the biggest nation. So if we can tap into our imagination, and like you said, our biggest competition is us. So just imagine yourself not competing with yourself and supporting yourself moving forward.
Yeah. Get out of your own way.
Yeah. So what do you do? Or do you ever get stuck in your own way?
No, because, it's just, to me, it's always educating people, about water. And then to me, it's really listening what other people want. That's what, to me, is what it's all about, is finding out what their needs are and finding out how you can serve them. I don't care what situation you're in, there's always a positive solution that can be found. It doesn't make any difference what's going on.
Would you say that you're? I just thought I'd put that up there because he's a friend of ours, really nice guy. Mm-hmm. Would you say there's a high percentage of people that think like you, or a low percentage of people that think like you in that regard?
Yeah, I'm going to say low percentage.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if that was a lottery ticket, I think you would won the lottery. So when you're meeting and helping people learn and get educated, what are some of your best ways to help them get out of their own way that you've shared?
I try not to tell people what they should do or what they should. It's about asking questions. It's not simple. Where do you want to be at in a year? Make them realize it themselves, because you can stand there and say you need to do this, this, and this. They're not going to do it, and they got to realize it themselves. It's their responsibility to change, but you can make their mind work to where I could be in a better situation than what I am now.
Right.
People are just, I know it's a fear factor, but to me that's a huge excuse, because it's once you make that step, you look back, why I should have done that 20 years ago. It wasn't that difficult, and you can make it simple or you can make it difficult. People make it more difficult than it is, because it's just got to get over your excuses.
Yeah, I like the idea of not telling people what to do. And I do like the idea of asking them. Because if you shoulda, coulda, woulda on anybody, it doesn't really serve them very well, or ourselves even, because if we shoulda, coulda, woulda on ourselves, we're disempowering ourselves, I find. What I've found, though, is I've introduced them to things, different way of looking at things. I don't tell them, but I would suggest it by a question. And if they take it and want to adapt it, I'll support them as best I can, as best they allow me to support them in that, whatever that process is. So one of my favorite methodologies that says, help me get out of the fear thing. Most of the time, because as you grow, the fear is still there. It's just a different thing. And so to help me get past that and embrace it more readily is I have 100 success lists I introduce to people. And it's interesting, the ones that will do it, and I have some other things, but this is one of the most simple things to do. It's also simple not to do it. But those that do make an attempt at doing it find that they're totally surprised at what they find out about themselves. And then they can use that to leverage it if they want to go to another level, which is what it's done to me.
It's, to me, the people are just in there. You get in a rut, I call it. Routine daily. You can set, when I used to own my car body shop and my auction service, and I had a remodeling business, I could set my watch every morning at 6:15, and I'd be between here 119th and 435 bumper to bumper traffic, and that's where I would be every day. And it's just, it's, now that I look back, I could have changed that 20 years ago. You just get in it. You're in that comfort zone, and it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah. Any ideas why it's hard for us to get out of our comfort zones?
Probably the fear of the unknown. Oh my gosh, this is, job security, whatever it is. This is a comfort deal, and then if you quit, you don't. Oh my gosh, it could go south. It could do this. But I'm a risk taker, so I've never had that problem. So it's I've realized you can buy and sell stuff. You can do all this. There's millions and millions of ways to make money, and the thing I've learned though is find something you love to do. If you hate what you're doing, go find something else to do. You can make money at doing anything.
So you broke up there for a minute, so I'm just going to repeat what I think I heard. You could do anything that you want to do to make money, and if you're not happy at what you're doing, go find something else.
Yeah, find something that you love and enjoy. Yeah, and find a way to make money with it.
So being a master networker, what would you share with our audience today to help them be more effective at networking?
To me, networking is just talking. Go out there and find out what people's doing. We're all struggling one way or the other, and find out, ask them questions. Are you happy what you're doing? Are you happy where you're at? If you're not, what could you do to make it better? Get that mindset working. To me, that's what it's all about it. I'm curious about what you got going on. I know how you feel. I've been there, I found another way to do it, and I always ask for permission. Would it be okay if I share stuff with you? You're never getting a no. It's always like this conversation. And you don't lose nothing by trying. That's the cool thing that people think, oh, I can only do this one way. I look at it like playing blackjack. You play one hand, you're going to lose all the time. You play 5 hands, you're going to win all the time. So you're never losing.
Cool.
So, to me, you never, you learn something too. So, okay, that didn't work. Let's do something different.
Have you ever met somebody at a networking event where they didn't engage? You didn't feel like you wanted to engage with them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I run onto them all the time.
So what are some of those things that would be the kind of things we probably shouldn't do if we want to have people engage with us? Share some of your knowledge.
I don't spend much time with people that are belly aching about stuff. It's either, if you're not, you not be, that's not a good fit. So,
right.
I guess you raise your standards a little bit. So where, I'm looking for go-getters and not belly achers. And, it's, to me, when I go to a networking event, I'm ready to do business, not socialize. So I always try to pick out 4 or 5 people that I can follow up with.
And to help people that are not as effective at networking as you, what would be some of the things that you look for in those 5 people that you would be connecting with that would want to make you follow up with them?
Well, are you your target market, or what you're trying to accomplish, and it's again, it's just are you a good fit? Even a conversation, it's some will give you the cold shoulder, and some will sit there and talk your leg off too. So I always, I'm there for a reason. I find people that I can network. I look at, how well are you networked? Once I'm there and I connect with you, I look at their social media and see how well they're connected. I look at it all.
Cool. So one of the things that I learned along the way is to have I don't like the way some people describe it, so I like this other way, either an infomercial or a micro story. And it acts like a headline in the initial introduction when I'm meeting with people. And there's a short version, which gives them a short little taste of it. So if somebody asked me, what business am I in? I would say, well, I'm in the business of stopping the insanity for entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And they'd either go, okay, and walk away, or not look interested, and I wouldn't share anymore because there's no point.
Yeah.
However, if they go, insanity? What do you mean? Well, are you a small business owner? Well, I am. I says, well, and then I would go into, well, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you've done your marketing. You've got somebody that's a warm body to talk to. You've asked some questions, probably a lot of questions, peeled back the onion, got to the core of who they are and what their challenges are, and you sincerely believe you have a solution for them. Then you invite them to be open to let's see if they're open enough to see the presentation. And then you do the presentation based on the information you gathered. And they're, sounds pretty good. And you get to the end when it comes to the dollars and cents and all those kind of things. And they go, yeah, can I get it for 30% off? And you should see how many people that I share that with, their eyes roll. Oh, man, that happens all the time. Well, and I also say, well, isn't that crazy? And they go, absolutely. Well, that's the insanity that I help people like you avoid more often than not. Get the passion back in your step, the bounce back in your energy, and help you build the business that you thought you would like to have, working less in it, more on it, having way more fun, and, making more money. And if that resonates with them, then we go to the next step.
Mm-hmm. So many people are just there just to sell. And it's funny how people, they want to come in and puke on you. We call them swoopers. They come in and want to sell there, and then when they find out you're not interested in buying, they don't talk to you or speak to you anymore. To me, that's a major loss, because now you've lost my whole network. I'm more valuable to you than your little commission check that you do on a monthly basis. So,
Yeah, they're looking for that quick fix, right?
yeah. Most people, when they go into these groups, they're only there to sell. And I hate to say there's no buyers in the room. They're all sellers in the room. So if you think you're going to make a sale that at that instant, you're in the wrong room.
Absolutely. Oh, I totally get that. Do you do anything to stay in touch and nurture with the people that you meet along the way?
Yeah, that's something that I do too, especially when I connect with you. I don't sell hard. I open my network up, so I invite you to my other groups. I might not be interested in buying your product. It's just hard to tell, but I at least open my doors up to come and join me at this group, that group, this chamber. I have my own Facebook groups. I invite everybody to kind of my world, my network,
right?
And that way, open doors that way, because it's cool, because I have somebody for everybody, and that's what's really cool about being in the business of entrepreneurship, because if you have somebody needing something, you have them there. You can always send them a good quality referral.
So I think what I've discovered is that people think networking is fun, and absolutely can be fun. There's no doubt about it. But the name of it is network, and you need to network your network. So be diligent in building the relationship. It's not. I ran a group called the Winter Circle Networking Breakfast. I ran that for 5 years when I started in my business, and this business kind of thing that I'm in now. In the 90s, and that was my sole marketing strategy, was to run a networking group, find people to bring into it, find people to speak to our group, and teach them how to do a micro story in an effective way so that they could serve people instead of tell people. Because selling is not telling. Selling is asking and uncovering and being a real good doctor, and coming up with what are the ailments that they have. And the house I'm in, the businesses I've got, and learning to dance all came through networking. The people that I met that showed up, they may not have been, the realtor wasn't there, but things that I met and the people I met helped me get to everything where I am now. Steve Jobs says you can't join the dots very easily looking forward, but if you look back and see where you've come from, the dots are easy to connect. So I was excited about you being on the show here, because we're both really good networkers in our life. And I just think it's a skill that's developable. That's a big mouthy word, but it's learnable. You can actually learn how to do it by the masters. And that's why having you here was a thrill for me and a treat to hear some of the things you do to grow your business and expand your network. And the thing I liked what you just said is you open up your network, because you never know. So my Winter Circle tagline was networking for fun and profit. And my company's name is PG Squared, and it's all about bringing people together and multiplying that scientifically. So bringing the people together, opening up our community to them, can expand and help me serve other people. So I may not earn financially, but I earn psychically. I get that feel-good factor. And if you feel good, you'll do good. You'll do gooder.
Oh, yeah. It's just... you keep growing your network. What goes around comes around, and the financial will come up too. And, you don't need a group. I go there when I do my one-on-ones back when we were meeting face to face. I'd sit there all day and I'd have back-to-back one-on-ones. And I enjoyed it because the person I was talking with, say if I was talking with you, the next person coming in would get to meet you.
Okay,
so
cool.
You would meet the person that I was already sitting with. So each one of you would meet another person. I'd always sit by the front door there and say hi to everybody. And there'd be times I'd have a mini networking group right there. 8, 10, 12, 15 of us would stay sitting around, and networks that way too. So to me, networking, you don't need a group. It's talking. Grocery store, wherever you're at, you're working your network.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. Those are awesome tips. So I'm going to put your banner up here. I'm going to go find it. This is where they could find out more about you. Where did I put you? I think this is you.
There it is.
I get it right?
That's
Awesome.
it. That's it. You betcha. You'll get to hear a little bit about what we do as far as water technology and have all my contacts. And again, the door's open I'll open my network up to anybody and everybody and invite you and, connect with you and follow up and all the good stuff.
And I think your phone number is even posted on there. You're
Absolutely.
totally exposed.
There you go. I'm an open book.
Well, that's why you're here, because I like people like you. We met in a Jeffrey Gittimer Emerging Sales Winners group and hung out through that process. He had his anniversary date a few days ago because he went live for 365 days. And he's kind of like you. He's been providing value to a global community. And then it wasn't for him. And as Kellen, our buddy, would say, she was one ding away. Actually, it's one ding that happened about this time last year, and she got reconnected to Gittimer, and her whole life has changed because of the people she's met through networking. And I'd ask her that, but I can't because she's not in the green room. She's just watching from afar. But I know her well enough to know that's true.
Yeah. Another one I think that we probably meet with too is Ken Walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of great
Jeffrey
people.
Gittimer and Ken Walls, they're all rock stars.
Doug Wing.
Yeah. Wes
Wyatt. Mm-hmm. Oh, you probably don't know this buddy. This is a buddy of mine, Joe Narcott.
Hi, Joe.
He's actually my go-to guy to help me with systematizing, staying in touch with people. He's a wonderful guy as well. So he says, how do you keep track of all your contacts you meet at a networking event? Do you categorize them as a lead, a resource, or etc.? Any thoughts around that, Larry?
For me, I've learned how to, we kind of quit giving out business cards now. On LinkedIn, we got the QR codes, so we can instantly connect now. And again, I invite everybody to, hey, most of the time I'm getting off here and going to another group. Come and join me over there. I'd love to introduce you to this group. We got an awful lot of meetup groups. I'm involved in meetup groups that got 3,000 and 4,000, 5,000 members in it. I'd love to open that door up to you so you can have 3,000 people to network with. So I plug people in. It's just, let's go. I don't like going by myself. I like going with the tribe. So
So you're a master plugger-inner.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, connect with me on Facebook. I try to, just like you showed, I usually take pictures of what I'm doing and telling everybody here's where I'm at, and come and join me. Send me a message or text me, and if I'll give you the meeting ID and password, and I'll come and introduce you.
I just threw this back up there for anybody who catches this halfway through or near the end. When you say you take pictures and connect people, here's a sample of what you just said. I took this from your Facebook page and put it on here just as a visual to let people know that you do what you say you do.
Yeah. We're in the people business, so let's do what we can to help people. It's not always about making the sale.
No.
It's helping somebody and having them come back and say, because I got out of my own way, or you changed my life, and that's priceless. And money can't, that's way better than money.
Yeah, I totally agree with you 1,000%. Doug Wing's father, Hal, taught him, and he's then taught us. He says, if you build the people will build the business. That's sound advice.
Yeah. I own 4 of those awesome little giant ladders.
I only have one.
Back when I was in the painting and modeling, I used those things daily for stairways. They were amazing because they're so adjustable.
Did you get all of the adapters for them too?
I had backups for the backup.
Backup for the back.
You bet. Yeah. You can do anything and everything with those little dudes.
Yeah, I put them on stairs unevenly and got them even because I have an adapter for that. You could got the adapter. Here, we're doing a plug for his business, and he doesn't even own it anymore.
That's okay.
But that's a really good thing, though, because that's a really great example of price is not the issue if we've provided the value and education, is what you talked about as a networker. And if we provide that, then people will invest the money in something because they can see the perceived value in it and how it's safe. You don't fall off roofs. The stairs you can manage stairs. And I built a deck and painted houses with it. And I wasn't even a tradesman. I just bought that ladder because, damn it, it worked. The value. So that's a really good story that I use in my sales training to help people understand. Yeah, you can get a cheaper ladder or you can get the best ladder. Which one are you going to do? And if they say the cheaper one, then I give them all the reasons why they should consider the benefit of the little giant ladder.
The hospital bill's not going to be worth that, saving that $10. So
No, exactly. Mm-hmm. So what would be your tip for anybody watching this now or in the replay to become more effective as a networker? And then we'll end it there.
To me, just never quit connecting. You can connect with people anywhere and everywhere, and don't be afraid to open your network up to people. Don't lose anything. I see so many people afraid to open their network up because they might lose the sale to somebody. So forget that mindset. Open it up and help as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. That's where you'll grow in every aspect of your life. It's just do your best and serve others.
Yeah, really good advice. Oh, one more comment. That's what we got up here. See what's up there. Paul Hickey. Do you know Paul? He lives where I live.
Hi, Paul.
5.5 hours away from you.
Okay, cool. No, I don't think so, but
he's been hanging out with us on the Gittimer Lives as well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Love to connect with you, Paul. Reach out.
He is he's a wonderful guy. Former professional football player in Canada.
Fantastic.
See how you get to meet all sorts of people through networking? So if you're not networking, you're crazy, guys and gals. Get out there and talk to people. Just get to know who they are and see where it goes. It's like be the pebble in the pond, and the ripple will move you out further. It's magical. Anyway, Larry, thank you for being here. Thanks for your insight. I look forward to hanging out with you some more at another time.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed this.
You're welcome, buddy. So as you can see, my website is down at the bottom, coachphil.ca, if you want to get information or go watch a replay of this at another time. And if you have a question or a guest you would like to have on the Business Renovator, shoot me a note, phil@coachphil.ca. And please do share this out with your community. Let's spread the word of the great people that show up here. We've even had Doug Wing on here, and he's amazing. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you next week.